The price of a property is ultimately set by the market. No matter what you say or what the vendor wants, eventually it all comes back to what someone is prepared to pay for a property. So this is going to necessitate price adjustments from what you set the price at and with the vendor's agreement at some point to where the market needs to be before it will act on purchasing the property. Now, the better you are at getting your pricing right, the less often this is going to happen. But it will happen at some stage in your career with the properties that you're working with. So how do you approach this? There's a few key factors that make this task, which is probably one of the most unenvied tasks among real estate agents, but there are a few factors that make it a little bit easier. The first of these is work with hard evidence. If you're going to need a price adjustment, then take the vendor hard evidence. It's much more effective than just you going in with your opinion that things are not moving fast enough and therefore he should take a hit in the price department. If, however, you go in with dedicated feedback that you've recovered from people coming through the opens, the exact comments they make, their exact recommendations on what they would pay for the property, and these are real people that are interested in a similar kind of property and therefore put a realistic price on it, that puts you in a much steadier position to advocate a price adjustment than if you're going in without the facts. The second thing is that you can set some trigger points for these things to happen. For example, if you pre-agree with an owner, a vendor, that if you don't get a certain number of offers by a certain time, then price is obviously the factor and you must adjust the price to reflect that and then put the property on the market on an ongoing basis at a more realistic price. Remember the fact that many interested buyers will be in the market, look around at properties and see a new property within 2 to 3 weeks of it going on the market. If you don't get a deal coming together in this first 2 to 3 weeks, then it's likely that the number of buyers coming into the market to see this property will be much less. In other words, you won't get a new wave of buyers for some weeks after that. And that could jeopardise your being able to sell the property within your agency agreement period. So work within the constraints of new properties to the market. That first 2 to 3 weeks is crucial. Also, when you go to talk to a vendor about price adjustments, you must have your stance carefully thought through in advance. There's no point going in asking for a price adjustment for an amount that you haven't figured out in the beginning is going to make a material difference to marketing the property. There's no point asking for a $1,000 price reduction when you know that a $15,000 price reduction is what's going to be required to put the property well in the reach of the market in its comfort zone. So read the material about the pricing adjustments, and again this is a role play exercise because a lot of these topics we're now dealing with come down to the verbal communication back with the vendor. So practice it, get fluent at it, and then watch how others do it, and then you'll be well armed to face this when it comes your turn to get a price adjustment on a property that you're working with.